NBC News legal analyst Danny Savalos is here. Danny, you talk about standing. Who has, for lack of a better word, the right or the place to stand up and say, you can't do this? Does the state of Arizona have standing?
The issue of standing is the constitutional question of whose beeswax is it anyway? Is it even your right to be here in court? Do you have an interest? And it is a fundamental threshold issue in every case. You have to have some interest in the outcome. So who would have an interest here? Would it be taxpayers who say somehow, hey, I'm not getting any benefit from this, and it's my tax money that you're using to forgive this loan debt? No, that's not going to work. The court long ago rejected taxpayer standing. Otherwise, any of us who don't like taxes that we're paying could jam up the federal government in court. So that's out. Maybe, I've heard a theory of loan servicers might have standing. But I'll tell you this, Shep, if they overcome the standing issue and prove to a court that, yes, they have a concrete interest in the outcome, they might have a challenge to Biden's authority, the administration's authority, instead of Congress, to forgive student loan debt. There may be an argument that it's Congress that has that power and not the Biden administration, not the executive branch.
Let's say it's a loan processing service, as you suggest. What would be the legal grounds under which you would file such a suit?
They would argue, well, to satisfy the standing issue, they would have to argue that they have lost something. They have some concrete interest. And, for example, forgiving this student loan debt has caused them harm in the form of money they might have otherwise made. But here's the thing, Shep. Every legislative action has winners and losers. Just because somebody loses economically because of a federal statute doesn't mean that they have standing to sue in court to enjoin or stop that federal law from going into effect, no more than they may not have standing to force the president to not put his plan into effect, which would essentially be an act of the executive branch.
So what really matters to people who have the debt is whether or not it's going to go through. And likely this could make its way to the Supreme Court. How might this court, as it's now configured, react to something like this?
This court in particular has expressed a lot of concern about executive branch agencies. That might be the Department of Education, for example, which will have a heavy role in this debt forgiveness. They have expressed concern and recently made it very clear that if an executive branch agency purports or says that, hey, we have the power under this statute, well, they better actually have the power literally in that statute. And the court is going to hold them to that, because otherwise the fear of this present court, this right-leaning court, is and has been that an executive branch agency might overcome the power of Congress, might take on the power of Congress by interpreting congressional law in a way that is just too expansive and thereby making law by themselves, which is really not their area.
I mean, the elephant in the room is Nancy Pelosi said not many months ago, the president doesn't have the power, doesn't have the authority to eliminate student loan debt or any other debt.
What's good for the goose is good for the gravy or gander. I don't know how the saying goes. I probably should have thought of that before I said
Gander.
it. But yes, so yes, exactly right. And that's another challenge, too, is that someone like Nancy Pelosi, who has criticized the executive branch when it was Trump's executive branch and advocated for limiting their power, might find themselves in a bit of a cul-de-sac now when they're saying, well, no, the executive branch has plenty of power to liberally interpret federal law to forgive student loans. And already the Biden administration has issued a memo arguing or saying that, look, here's the statutory basis for our power. But I'll tell you, when you go to that statute and look at that passage, it's very broad, hazy language. The Secretary of Education shall have the power to modify in times of emergency loan conditions.
Yeah.
Does that mean it's the power of the executive branch to forgive student loans? Maybe. Or does it just mean they can modify payment times or terms or other kinds of conditions, something short of forgiving it entirely?
Everything can be an emergency.
Everything.
I didn't get to studio till 90 seconds before air, and it was, for me, an emergency.
I believe it.
But others might have disagreed. We could have left fast money on the air, and no one would have known the difference. Danny, thanks for driving across the river. I appreciate it.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.